Biafra, superstars, media.
My people, my people. My people, now how on a day? I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending from where you're listening to the sound of my voice. This is the Biafra Superstars Media and I'm holding it down. I say may God bless Biafra and may God bless His Excellency Oyendu Nnamdi Kanu. May God bless, 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 may God bless His Excellency, the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra. His Excellency, ESN, Ekpa, Simon Njoku, for the job Simon is doing. Simon, I want to say we thank you. We appreciate you. We love you because we know in your hands Biafra is safe. In your hands Biafra is coming. And Biafra now has come. So in your hands, now that Biafra has come, the people of Biafra must surely rejoice. I say may God bless the Deputy Prime Minister, Her Excellency, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. Madam, we thank you for the job you are doing. Madam, we appreciate you. Madam, we love you. Please, madam, ignore the naysayers. Let them talk. Let them speak. All we want you to do is focus on the monumental job at hand. And so far, so good, madam. I want to thank you. I want to appreciate you for the excellent job you're doing. My people, yesterday I spoke to you when I spoke about our people not making the biggest mistake of giving their Moses and Joshua to Pharaoh. That has been my sermon for so many weeks. Because I will tell you this today. There was a promise made to IPOB political wing. Those we call IPOB Nigeria Limited. There was a promise given to the wife of Nnamdi Kanu. There was a promise given to the brothers, the siblings of Nnamdi Kanu. And somehow, for the past few months, they have backslided. They've been attacking Simon Ekpa, even though they know that Simon Ekpa is a disciple of Nnamdi Kanu. They somehow believed the governors of what they call the Southeast. They somehow believed the politicians. Men like Soludo promised them heaven and earth, and they believed. And suddenly, our people decided to do the unthinkable. They decided to give their Moses and Joshua to Pharaoh with the hope that somehow Pharaoh will now release their Moses. Shockingly to them, they forgot that Moses was the arrowhead that led to the exodus of the Israelites. So there is no way Pharaoh, in his wildest dream, will want to let go Moses if he has a second chance to grab him again. There'll be no way Pharaoh will want to let go of Moses. In that same vein, Nnamdi Kanu is seen as the Moses, and Simon Ekpa, his disciple, is likened to Joshua. For the past few months, for the past few weeks, it's been intense. And suddenly, Finland called in our Prime Minister for some questioning. And from what we're hearing, the accusation is that Simon Ekpa is causing mayhem in the Southeast. And the new slogan, the new mantra is Simon Ekpa is a killer of his people. But today, I want you to know that the promise that Nnamdi Kanu will be released before Christmas was the main reason why people out there were attacking Simon Ekpa. Very, very sad. Of all people, a man like Kanunta Kanu, who took his time, he knew the assignment, he knew those behind the blackmail of Nnamdi Kanu, the blackmail of Simon Ekpa. But because of the promise that his brother will be released, Nnamdi Kanu, if they can throw Simon Ekpa under the bus. Sadly, Kanunta Kanu also fell for it. But today as we speak, now that Simon Ekpa is in the custody of Finland, going through his questioning, one of them, or one of those that promised the release of Nnamdi Kanu, This man you are seeing here, Governor Charles Soludo, he is now saying that releasing Nnamdi Kanu will not solve the problem. In fact, insecurity has come to stay, and releasing Nnamdi Kanu won't solve the problem. This was the same man who some few months ago, during his election, he was shouting, all we are saying, give us Kanu. This was the same man who went all the way to Abuja in the office of the DSS, where he had a sit down with Nnamdi Kanu, where he took pictures of Nnamdi Kanu with himself. Now we know it was all about politics and election. And suddenly, the man they call Kanunta Kanu is now crying and lamenting like a baby. At this point, I want us to listen to what is going on in the media, because right now it is out that Soludo has told Tinubu that releasing Nnamdi Kanu will not solve the problem. It will not solve the insecurity in Southeast. Imagine that statement. Imagine that statement. It's like saying somebody is in America. They have a problem with childcare, and they want to send their brother from Nigeria or from Biafra land to America. And the wife now told this man, bringing your brother to America will not solve the problem of our childcare issue. So indirectly, what she's saying to her husband is there is no need to bring your brother from Africa. Think about that. Without any much further ado, I will bring you the media based on two perspectives, one in English, one in Igbo. Then I will speak to my brother, Kanunta Kanu, man to man. If you are ready, let's go there. Listen.
I doubt if the release of Nnamdi Kanu from detention will restore security in the southeast part of Nigeria. This statement was made by the governor of Anambra State, Soludo, who argued that criminals are now exploiting the Biafran struggle and Nnamdi Kanu's name to perpetrate organized crime and insecurity in the region. Speaking during a press conference at the governor's lodge on Tuesday, Governor Soludo noted that under the guise of agitation, these individuals had turned to lucrative criminality, engaging in armed robbery, kidnapping, courtesy, and idolizing. Do you agree that the detention of Nnamdi Kanu is responsible for the worsening insecurity in the southeastern part of Nigeria? You can drop your comment.
Hold it there. Hold it there, my sister. With all due respect. Hold it there. You've just heard it in English. For the naysayers, you've just heard what they said. This man said about Nnamdi Kanu in a press conference. He said releasing Nnamdi Kanu will not solve the insecurity in Southeast. My people, that's a dog whistle. Indirectly, what he's trying to say is there is no need to release him. You have your prize in your hands, in your custody. There is no need to release him. Why? Because Nnamdi Kanu is now bigger than those they call the governors. For the naysayers out there who said no, they can't believe that this man said this. I will take you to the native tongue of Igbo, the language called Igbo. Listen to the media in Igbo and tell me what you think about it. Afterwards, I will now come and speak man to man to the one they call Kanunta Kanu. If you're ready, let's go there. Listen. Listen.
Soludo. So I think Soludo Lelana. Onu ya bata no kwa. When you want to be a ya chokwa na ko ku nkia. Ko lezie mba ni le ndi ana agba na. Ko le ya ko kwa ya fo n'ala. O ye ngwata na ge hia. Instead of kwanyo umunni ya na umunni ya na ekwu hia. Say unu kwushi okwu ike kele ma nwanyi nwoke ma ọ ga-apụta. Ke so wuru na họpụta nzekwa agaghị aje. Ma nchekwa agaghị adị n'ala ma na Anambra ọ ga-adị n'ala Igbo. Soludo ya mechọrọ ka nchekwa dịrị na ebe ị na-achị. Ala Igbo chọrọ nchekwa. Ọhịa ga na-agwụ ya. Ka agwụ ya ha. Kedu mgbe ọbụla ya pụta ya na-ekwu okwu na-enweghị isi asị bụ ọla ka ndị Igbo ọla ka Anambra ọ na-achị.
Listen.
Ya ma Soludo achọghị nchekwa n'ebe ebe o shiri pụta. Biko ndị Igbo chọrọ nchekwa. Ọhịa anyị ga-egbu ya. Ebe na ọma hotel si ekwu okwu.
Barrister.
Hold on there, my sister. So what he's saying here is, if Soludo is saying there will be no peace, or he cannot guarantee insecurity will come to an end with the release of Nnamdi Kanu, then he should mind the way he speaks. Because he can't be saying that. Let him say there will be no peace in his old Anambra state after the release of Nnamdi Kanu, but that they want peace and they are confident with the hard work people are doing out there to release Nnamdi Kanu, that once they release him, there will be peace. My fellow Biafrans, I'm here to bust your bubble. Those that believe that somehow Nigerian government will release Nnamdi Kanu, they are wasting their time. If you're a real follower of Simon Ekpa, if you're a real student of Simon Ekpa, you will hear when he said, and I quote, "The best way of releasing Nnamdi Kanu will be done through a prisoner exchange. The best way we shall be able to release Nnamdi Kanu will be done through a prisoner exchange." Because all the politicians and the naysayers, they gave them a false hope. They lied to them. They pretended as if they want to release Nnamdi Kanu. But they said the prize will be the head of Simon Ekpa. So give us Simon Ekpa and we shall release to you Nnamdi Kanu. In fact, Tinubu is ready to do it this Christmas. It will be a Christmas gift for the Southeast, as they say. Give us the head of Simon Ekpa and Nnamdi Kanu will be a released man. We've seen all the attack, the barrage of attack against Simon. Kidnappers, killers coming to Finland to kill him. Assassins coming around trying to take his life. And the last one they did was to connive those from the Southeast to lay a false accusation against Simon Ekpa. They did all this because they believed in the governors. They believed in the governors. In fact, before I go to Kanunta Kanu, let me show you this same man, Charles Soludo. Just a few months back, this same man was praising and shouting and singing, campaigning for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. All for his selfish interest. Due to politics, he did what he did. But today, he's the one saying, there is no need to release Nnamdi Kanu. Do not release Nnamdi Kanu because it will not solve the insecurities in the Southeast. My people, listen to this same Charles Soludo. We've been warning you guys following the politicians. We have been warning you guys. Be careful the way you follow these guys. They cannot be trusted. IPOB Nigeria Limited, be careful how you sleep in the same bed with these politicians. Listen to the same man now who is saying there is no need to release Nnamdi Kanu. Listen to the way he spoke just a few months back while he was on the campaign trail trying to gain votes of the Biafrans. He used the name of Nnamdi Kanu to touch the heart of the Biafrans. Listen to this.
Bridge.
Listen.
We will thank him for the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway.
Listen.
We thank him for other infrastructural development now Enugu-Onitsha Expressway being done now by MTN. We thank him all. We also thank him for the support he has been giving to security agencies in helping us fight insecurity in the Southeast.
Listen.
But here is the big one.
The big one.
As the security people say, we need kinetic and non-kinetic approaches to solve this problem. We thank you for all the kinetic in terms of the force. We have also inaugurated the Truth, Justice and Peace Committee in Anambra to go to the root causes, immediate and remote causes of the insecurity in the southeast.
Listen.
And that committee, that commission is completing its work. We're also engaging the youths and implementing various forms of non-kinetic engagement. But it is now time for the federal government to help us with the last leg of this non-kinetic approach.
Listen.
We now need all the major stakeholders in the security project in the southeast to come around the table and for us to discuss. For us to discuss the security and prosperity of the southeast. And I now want to appeal.
Listen.
And plead and request and demand of the federal government and our able president, led by the able President Buhari, that a critical person required around that table for that conversation to be complete, for us to have an all-round approach to dealing with the issue of insecurity and discussing about the future of the southeast. That person, and we need him urgently around the table, please him to us, and that is Nnamdi Kanu. I'm calling on the federal government to please release Nnamdi Kanu.
Hold it there, and the crowd were singing, dancing, jubilating, and the woman you are seeing there is Bianca Ojukwu. My people, open your ears. Open your ears. This is the game they've been playing. They've used the name of Nnamdi Kanu to climb into high places. They've used the name of Nnamdi Kanu to gain power. The woman you are seeing here is the wife of the late Odumegwu Ojukwu, Bianca. Let's take it back. Listen.
Security and discussing about the future of the southeast. That person, and we need him urgently around the table, please him to us, and that is Nnamdi Kanu. I'm calling on the federal government to please release Nnamdi Kanu. We're calling on him to release Nnamdi Kanu. We need him around the table because we believe that we now want to have a comprehensive heart-to-heart conversation about the future of the southeast. About the future security and prosperity of the southeast. No one should be left behind. Everybody should be there. If we cannot release him unconditionally, as requested by the courts, by the court judgments and so on, I now offer to be the shorty. Release him to me. Keep him. Release him to me.
Okay.
Release him to me.
Okay.
Release Nnamdi Kanu to me.
Solution is here. Solution is here.
I will keep him.
I will
provide him shelter. And anytime that you need him, we will bring him to you.
Okay.
Give him to me. We will house him here in Oka.
Okay.
Let us bring this insecurity in the southeast to an end. That's why APGA believes in one Nigeria. APGA believes in the security and prosperity of Nigeria. We make this play in true belief and conviction that leaving no one behind and bringing all the key stakeholders in the security and prosperity project. Between in 2020, Nigeria must lay the foundation for a new Nigeria. And that foundation must begin and bring all the stakeholders, whether they are in the north, whether they are in the south, whether they are in the west, whether they are in the southeast. We need everybody all around the table. And let us all have a very glorious conversation. I want to say, give us Nnamdi Kanu. All we are saying, give us Nnamdi. Is that?
You hearing that?
All we are saying, give us Nnamdi. When he comes, we will have that conversation.
Listen.
Because Southeast must be quiet. The security of Southeast must be secured.
Listen.
Because we are an integral part of Nigeria. We believe in Nigeria. We believe in the greatness of this country. We must begin that journey for a prosperous homeland by ensuring undiluted, unmitigated, and unprecedented security of life and property.
Okay, hold it there, my people. Can you see how gullible our people are? When he made this pronouncement, everyone started to turn around. IPOB Nigeria Limited was formed. Suddenly, they went around bowing down, kissing the ring of the politicians, saying they are now in an alliance with the politicians, and that the best way to release Nnamdi Kanu is to work with the politicians. This was the beginning about a year ago. This was the beginning of the rebirth of IPOB Nigeria Limited. This same man, Charles Soludo, on stage was screaming, shouting, yelling, begging for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. But today, now that they now have Simon Ekpa in their custody, the only one who was genuinely fighting for the freedom of his people and the freedom of Nnamdi Kanu, the only one. All this while they were blackmailing him, saying he was working with the politicians. But today, we now hear about IPOB political wing. Today, we hear about IPOB Nigeria Limited. Today, those that went into partnership with people like Governor Charles Soludo, today, they are in shock. Today, they are angry. And today, they've been disgraced. Because this same governor is now saying to Tinubu that releasing Nnamdi Kanu is not guaranteed to solve the insecurity in Biafra land. It means there is no need to release him because there is no guarantee that releasing him will solve the problem. So keep him there while we keep on fighting to solve the problem. Since we already have Simon Ekpa in Finland, blackmailed by his own people, keep Nnamdi Kanu where he is. Allow him to suffer. Even though he's been there for 3.5 years, leave him there. Let him learn the hard way. Let him learn for going against the governors and politicians of their so-called Southeast. Do not release Nnamdi Kanu, because releasing him will not solve the issues of insecurity in the Southeast. Today, I want to call on Kanunta Kanu. Kanunta, deep inside, you know, while Nnamdi Kanu was here with us as a free man, you know, every program he has done, he's had Simon Ekpa to anchor with him. You were there when he told us to listen to Simon Ekpa and share his videos because Simon is coming with a new dimension. There is nothing more beautiful than the love of a brother to his fellow brother. And in most cases, deep in your heart, you know the person who is really fighting for the freedom of your brother. But somehow, Kanunta Kanu, you allowed the politicians to get into you. You allowed them to deceive you. You allowed them to go against. They made you go against the very person, the person who is fighting for the liberation of Biafra and your brother who is our leader, Nnamdi Kanu. The person who publicly said he was a disciple of Nnamdi Kanu. The person who at the time when Nnamdi Kanu was asking for 100 men, he came out in the public and told Nnamdi Kanu, if you need 100 men, I will make your job easier because in me, I am 15-1. Kanunta Kanu, you allow the devil to use you. You allow the devil to enter into you. And you started attacking Simon Ekpa, mocking him, and calling him a content creator. with the hopes that now that he's been blackmailed as the one responsible for insecurity in Biafra land, you were hoping that the so-called politicians will stick or keep to their words. But today, Governor Charles Soludo has shown you that all they did was to use and dump you guys like a piece of rubbish. Governor Charles Soludo has proven that those they call themselves the DOS, who said they were going into partnership with politicians, those that call themselves IPOB, the political wing, even you yourself, Kanunta Kanu, and I believe even the legal team to an extent, because they were going with this rubbish, this assumption that the politicians of the Southeast, those greedy bastards, somehow you believe they are working towards the release of Nnamdi Kanu. No. All they've done was to use you guys as a useful idiot. What they call it, a UI. Useful idiots. They've used you to blackmail our Moses and now our Joshua. My people, let me show you Kanunta Kanu when he felt everything was sweet. When those from Southeast blackmailed Simon Ekpa and he was going through his questioning, I will show you the tweet of Kanunta Kanu, how he was insulting Simon Ekpa. He belittled him. He followed the crowd to call him a content creator. But today now he's crying because the same governor that made him to insult and attack his brother, Simon Ekpa, those same governors, they come in the public to say there is no need to release Nnamdi Kanu. I told them there is no way the Fulani cabal will release Nnamdi Kanu as a Christmas gift. I know the cabal so well. We know the language of the cabal. We are the ones that understand the Fulani cabal. My people, let us go to the tweet of Kanunta Kanu. See the way he insulted Simon Ekpa, and now see the way he's crying. He's worried when he heard what Governor Charles Soludo said. If you're ready, let's go there. Watch this. Okay, my people, what you're seeing here was 4 days ago when everything was still sweet. The rumor was up in the air that Nnamdi Kanu will be released before Christmas. Oh, Southeast, rejoice. IPOB Nigeria Limited, rejoice. IPOB Political Wing, rejoice. We've just got the good news. Oh, yes. Tinubu has promised us they will release Nnamdi Kanu before Christmas. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. So this is the tweet of Kanunta Kanu 4 days ago. When the Punch newspaper, they were speaking of Simon Ekpa and they called him the leader of IPOB and all those nonsense. Now, I will open the screen much further for you to see what he said. Let's go there. Watch this. He said, and I quote, "A man who does not know where his next meal is coming from would always remain corrupt." Mohammed Lawal at Punch newspaper, stop misleading the wider public with your derogatory headline. Get your facts straight before making mockery of yourself and that of your newspaper Punch. Those sponsors of insecurity in the Southeast who failed while setting up a parallel group to tarnish IPOB image by telling you to link the Finnish content creator to IPOB should know that they have come very late. Nnamdi Kanu is the only leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. Shame on you all. You see, he didn't have to go that low to insult Simon Ekpa by calling him a content creator. He said by telling you to link the Finnish content creator to IPOB You see that? He called Simon Ekpa the content creator. Just because the Zoom media, they wrote something and they said Simon Ekpa being the leader of IPOB. You and I know that Simon Ekpa for the past 3 years has never called himself nor identified himself as the leader of IPOB. But Kanunta felt he had to put that dagger there. He had to do it to insult his own brother, Simon Ekpa. Now let's go back. Watch this. Let's go back. Let's go back. This is his Twitter page. Let's go. Let's go. Follow me in this journey. Follow me in this journey. Today is the day. Today, what you are seeing here is a tweet. And the picture you are seeing is Governor Charles Soludo and Nnamdi Kanu while he went to visit him at the DSS dungeon. He used this picture to gain more, more fan base for his political stuff or whatever. Let us read what he said about Governor Charles Soludo. Listen to Kanunta Kanu in the tweet, what he said about Governor Charles Soludo. If you're ready, let's go there. Watch this. He said, left, right, keep right, about turn. Like a military stuff, like a zombie. Dear Governor Soludo, I would like to thank you for clarifying what most people have been speculating over some years, but lacked credible evidence to substantiate that you and your fellow Igbo politicians, especially Southeast governors, are the ones behind the continued incarceration of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu due to your petty envy and jealousy of the love Biafrans have for him and what IPOB has come to represent in the ongoing resistance against the persistent marginalization of the people, of our people within Nigeria. Watch him saying all that stuff. He now said, are we to take your previous calls for his release as a mere self-serving, hypocritical stance to further your political agenda? Or were you genuine? Okay. May Almighty God have mercy upon you. May Almighty God have mercy upon you. You see, the problem is this. It is sad when these guys, they get to learn in the 11th hour. And sometimes I hate doing the thing where we say, I told you so. Because all this while, Simon Ekpa has been vindicated. Simon Ekpa has been calling out the politicians and those working with the politicians. But somehow these guys, they had this false hope that these politicians who has been conquered, stooges of the caliphate, these eastern so-called Southeast politicians, who has gone to the north to bow down to the caliphate. Some of them, they've been stripped naked by the caliphate. They swore an oath with the caliphate to carry on with the agenda of the caliphate. Somehow these guys, they believed that they can work with the politicians of the Southeast. The same people that proscribed IPOB. The same people that proscribed IPOB. But over and over again, the IPOB, DOS, and other stakeholders believe they can still work with the politicians. When Simon Ekpa was exposing all these governors, politicians, he was met with anger, insults. They said no, Simon Ekpa was the one working with the politicians. But today, as the saying goes, had I known comes at last. I told you guys this, that we have less than 8 to 7 days to Christmas. The promise, as I was told by a reliable source, was that if they can give to the governor of Nigeria or the government of Nigeria, if they can give them the head of Simon Ekpa Nnamdi Kanu will be released by Christmas. That is why what you are hearing now against Simon Ekpa, the allegations against him, is between the Southeast and Simon Ekpa, not between Nigeria and Simon Ekpa. They did all these things with the hope that they'll be able to blackmail Simon Ekpa and in the process release Nnamdi Kanu. Unknown to these foolish idiots, unknown to these people, all what they have done was giving their Moses and Joshua to Pharaoh. They have worked and connived with the politicians, with the governors, with the senators and the rest of them to blackmail Nnamdi Kanu. And not only that, they have now blackmailed their brother, Mazi Ekpa Simon and Joko, the only person who is genuinely fighting for the liberation and freedom of Nnamdi Kanu. Kanunta Kanu, I hope you have learned from your mistakes. As the saying goes, had I known, comes at last. For those that call themselves the IPOB Nigeria Limited, for those that call themselves IPOB Political Wing, I want you all to smell the coffee. You still have chance, time to change your ways. If you believe that you are working for Nnamdi Kanu, then you guys have time to change your ways. You know what I mean when I made that statement. You still have time to change your ways. Amend your ways. Amend your ways. The politicians can never be trusted. All they want is power. They will do a deal with the caliphate over and over and over again to be and remain at the corridors of power. I rest my case. For those that have ears, let them hear. For those that have ears, let them hear. Yeah, Biafra, Biafra. Yeah, Superstar Media. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. I wanna know. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra, Biafra. I wanna know. We going back to the land. We going back to the motherland. Biafra, Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra, Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land.